Hello, Pisces. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. Supportive Oracle cards, Halloween Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. Stacy DeMarco. I'm having an ST trip at the moment, apparently. Okay. Let's get those over there and get some stuff going on. What do we got for, like, Pisces? Alright, this isn't how I usually do this, but that's okay. I think we're good. Okay, so what are you dealing with? There's rules. Rules overseeing the whole thing. Okay, so there's rules. Okay, we got the Hierophant here at the top. Sometimes it does denote like a Tauran, but it's more about, in this reading, rules. And like rules, sometimes like people have rules that they know better. Like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, they know it's kind of outdated, they know it shouldn't be happening that way, but hey, it's the rules. It's how it's always been done. I hate when people say that. It's the way it's always been done. It should be changed, but hey, it hasn't, so I just follow the rules. I just uphold the rules. I don't judge the rules. Something like that that's a little bit weird. It's like something isn't right here, but this is how it's done, so that's how we're doing it. The environment has something weird going on in it. We got the Moon card, which is technically your card. Although sometimes I skip between you and Cancer, but only because the Moon rules Cancer in astrology, so I kind of trip back and forth with that. The Temperance is supposed to be Sagittarius, too. I'm getting a lot of signs. That's kind of specific. And it's more about the energy, not about the sign itself, but like, it's almost like, you know, an energy that's kind of dormant, kind of quiet, but still kind of keeps going in the same direction. And it's looking for a way to change. I feel like there's like the lookout for a way to change things, but not a lot of action towards it. More action keeping it where it was, more action keeping in line with the current rules, rather than really moving towards a change. There might be a lot of thought, possibly some conversation about change, but all the action keeps going towards staying the same. So it's like we're talking about change, we're considering possibility verbally, but our actions, the actions of this person are like they keep reinforcing the same thing. We got this in the environment too. Which you got spider, is that owl? Yep, spider, owl, and this is behind the scenes. It is upside down. I think it's the Knight of Swords this time around. I'm feeling it's Knight. I got Knight. Because the Prince, I go back and forth with Page and Knight energy depending on what's going on with it. It's negative though. It's kind of like there's a lot of blocks in the past. A lot of people setting this situation up that they don't want it to change. They don't really care that it's outdated. They don't really care that it's not working because it's working for them. It's almost like when you have somebody who's doing a job, you know what I mean, and it's easy for them to currently do their job. It's not really helping things, but they're like, yeah, but I get my paycheck and it's easy. And then when somebody says, oh, this isn't right, we got to change this, they keep fighting to keep it the same because they just want their job to stay easy. They don't really care about the rest of the situation. And I'm getting that's around this situation. It's like there's a lot of like trying to halt or stop change. Basically because somebody's being very selfish. To general read, take it with a grain of salt. Somebody's being selfish and they don't want it to change. Basically because it just serves them the way it currently is. They don't really care if it's right or not. The Devil card with the Chariot. Yeah, no. I'm feeling like somebody's trying to hold the situation back. And it's very interesting because I feel like when we have the Chariot with the Devil, it's almost like a ruse. It's kind of like they're pushing forward to reinforce their current situation. So it's almost like there's a pseudo change, kind of like they're almost trying to push forth to a change with other things, but not what they're doing. And what they're doing is really where the change is needed. It's kind of like, you know, if you have somebody who's sensitive to sugar, and they're like, oh, okay, we can change the frosting, or maybe we can do something else with the frosting. Meanwhile, the cake, the center of the cake still has cannoli filling, and the cake itself is very sugary, right? But we can do something different. Let's do a buttercream that has like we can use some of that, that stevia or that erythritol or that monk's fruit. We can use that stuff. Yeah, use that. Yeah, that'll be great. We'll put that in the frosting. Meanwhile, the cake itself and the filling is sugary beyond your mind. You know what I mean? But they're like, yeah, you fix that. We'll see how that goes. And then when people try to do like, oh yeah, they said that was bitter. Oh, they said they didn't like that. It didn't have enough flavor. Keep working with that. Hey, try half and half. Try to do half sugar, half that fake sugar. Try that. And they keep pushing it off, and they keep pushing towards like, let's fix that part. Let's fix the cosmetic part. Let's see the part that everybody sees, the frosting, right? Let's deal with that. And then, oh, they like the cake though, so the cake's good. Let's not mess with the cake yet. Let's leave it alone. And they keep pointing out the failures of the changes to the frosting. I love baking analogies quite clearly. Anybody who's watched me for some time, I'm sure you've seen many baking analogies. Trick or treat and the skeleton. These are face down. The skeleton is like the way the situation is formed. They don't want that messed with. And the trick or treat is like they're messing with people. They know they're doing it. Like this is now no good intention behind this. They know what they're doing. This person or people know what they're doing. Very cheery reading, Ooh. It's ironic because I'm kind of doing this reading during the dark moon, so I'm like, what am I asking for with that, right? So this might be a reading letting you know what's really happening behind the scenes that maybe you don't normally see, or possibly, especially since you're a Pisces and water signs tend to be intuitive, something you're suspecting but not quite sure of. They're trying to highlight this because you got this going on here. You're trying to hold it together. You're trying to do what you're supposed to do, and you got this face down. Like you're very disappointed, kind of like it seems like things should change, but deep down you're really disappointed. Like it's coming out like this because you're trying to hold it together. You're trying to keep it going the right way. That's what you're trying to hold to. But what's really happening is failure. Failure is happening here. It's being masked with joy, though. It's very confusing because it's kind of like, hey, things are getting better. Hey, look, we're changing the frosting. We'll change the frosting now. We'll change the cake later. Then we'll change the filling. It'll be great. We're going to keep going. That's like the energy that's being portrayed. When in truth, what's happening is we're going to change the icing, and then we're going to find a lot of fault with that, and then we're going to keep that going in a rut so that it never goes beyond that. And hopefully we're going to convince people to not want the change because the icing, we're going to make that fail so bad that nobody else wants to change anything else. And then we'll get what we want. Yay! That's the truth. They're trying to find ways to like dishearten people or bring down their cheerful level, their optimism. It's probably a better word to use. So we keep going forward with this, right? The wheel is turning. Is it turning in your favor, though? The wheel will turn. It's not told me yet if it's going to go left or right. And I feel like this is how you're feeling about it when it happens. Kind of like, oh, wait a minute. It's almost like I feel like somebody is saying, hey, you know what I found? If you mix, if you use this type of flour, this almond flour, and you put it with half monk fruit, half stevia, or half monk fruit, half this other thing, people say it comes out really good. And if you add some cream cheese in there to add a little bit of extra, moisture, I'm saying, it comes out really good. And somebody's like jumping ahead and like, hey, why don't we try this with since the frosting isn't working out, let me step away from that for a second and start working on the cake and see if we can find out trying that out because I found something good here. I don't see this going well, but we'll find out. Ooh, somebody jumps the line. Yeah. Somebody else is kind of like, it's like they're figuring it out. Somebody else in the position to do something about it is seeing what this other person is doing. Like, yeah, kind of like, yeah, I see what you're doing. And they're like, hey, I found this thing. We could do the cake now. Let's try the cake and then just see if that matches the frosting. Maybe that'll make the frosting taste better if we also do the cake. And maybe we should be careful with that filling. Maybe we should just hold off on that cannoli filling and just use the frosting with this new cake and just see how that all together. Maybe it has to be all together. Maybe it's the contrast that's actually causing an issue. The Sun card with the Princess of Pentacles. This is a complete shock to you because it looked like it was kind of like, oh, we're going to go better. Oh, it's not working. And then all of a sudden the tower hits in a good way for you, kind of like, wait, what's going on? we're gonna jump in and do that. Like, that's okay. Yeah, I'm on board with that. I feel like you're like, yeah, I'm on board with that. The Sun card with the Princess of Pentacles here is telling me it's kind of like things get tuned quite well. Things go the right direction, but then it's kind of like it jumps forward and then it jerks back. It's kind of like it was like 1 step ahead, 3 steps back before, and now it's gone ahead 5 steps, gone back 2 steps, going ahead 3 steps, going back 1 step, going ahead 4 steps, going ahead back 2 steps. It's kind of like it's starting to progress, but there's still whoever doesn't like this is going to keep fighting it. But I feel like this is the part where they start to lose. But the fight isn't over. So I feel like you have to stay engaged with this. Are you going to be effective in staying engaged with this? Stick true to your vision. I feel like with this situation, it's supportive. Keep supporting the people who want to fight it ahead the right way. Be aware of who's not interested in actually making things better and who actually is. It's like, and I feel like when they feel the veil, it's like, be sure, like, watch between the lines. Because I feel for a lot of you, the person fighting correctly or fighting in the good direction, you may not actually like per se, but you know they're going in the right direction. So it's kind of like, keep supporting that. Like, you don't have to be buddy-buddy with them, but like, I feel like the person moving it forward in the right direction is somebody maybe you're not that warm and fuzzy about. But that's okay. You don't have to be buddy-buddy with them. Just watch where they're going, support the good things, and just go with that. And when you notice this other person, I don't know, I'm not really catching if you're going to like them or not, quite frankly. But this other person who doesn't really want things to change, just kind of step away from that altogether. Like, when you realize the person, whoever that person is, who's just kind of like, they don't want things to change because it serves them better. They don't really care if it's done right or not. They just don't want it to change because it serves them better. Just distance yourself, period. Just distance yourself, period, from them. Don't try to change their mind. Don't try to find out what they're doing wrong. Don't try to, like, when they start moving forward in the correct direction, encourage that. Don't do that either. Just step away from them altogether, because I get that they're very slippery. Stick true to your vision and what you feel, and just, like, when you see it going the correct way, even though the person I'm thinking that's going the correct way is not going to be your cup of tea, go with that. Highlight that. Again, you don't have to be buddy-buddy with them, but keep going with that. And the other one, just kind of just distance yourself, period. Going, whether it's going good or bad, just distance yourself, period, because I just feel like it goes easier for you. Just step away from it altogether. Sometimes they go good, sometimes they go bad. Either way, just step away from them. That way it doesn't have to be a concern of yours at all. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.